Okay.
So the impeachment process is more of a political process and a legal process at the same time. Now, when you talk about this process taking place in the National Assembly and the Senate, and now the judges having a problem with the process at the Senate, what does this then inform to the holders of those offices in terms of adhering to the rules of the game and ensuring that the entire process is actually followed?
Well, in my view, the Senate was faulted for not going through the entire process. But in my view, that is merely a technicality. Because whichever way you look at it, whether they would have ticked every box with a red pen, with a black one, with a green one, the outcome would have still been the same. Because these members of the National Assembly and Senate say they were mobilized, that they were given capacity and they were given reasons to go and vote in a particular way. And all they were doing was actually press-ups, just waiting for the time to come and vote. I mean, when you are paying attention to them, some of them were actually almost sleeping, others were yawning. They were just waiting to cast their ballots. And because it's a political process, it was a political decision. They were merely going through ticking boxes, going through the motions. And as Wakil has indicated, these impeachments, if you look at it maybe from a commercial perspective, it's like you've been declared bankrupt. You cannot trade, you cannot do many things. So, essentially, Mr. Rigiji has been declared politically bankrupt. There's nothing else he can do. If I were him, I will go back and strengthen my position as a kingmaker so that I can influence the political space from Kenya.
But that as well speaks to the fact that the political process that took place, it's not because individuals sat down to interrogate the matter that was before them. It's simply because they were given an order from another office, from another person to go through with the process. That therefore means that Rigiji went through a process that was initiated by somebody else, and those who were charged to try him to go through the process did not really care what was before him.
I'm not sure whether what Eric would say, but my understanding is, basic understanding of impeachment is actually a vote of confidence or no confidence in a politician. I mean, you've seen the way governors have been taken around small circles. So even for Mr. Rigathi Gachagua, despite his brand of toxic politics that every Kenyan knows and accepts, selling shares, selling shares. I mean, you see from my part of Kenya, wherever Mr. Rigathi Gachagua speaks, I ask myself, was he actually my deputy president? And does he speak for my interest? Wherever issues are being discussed that do not affect the mountain, he's very quiet. But if the issues are elsewhere, especially around equity and equality, it starts to raise eyebrows. So, and I think we've got an ethical responsibility to point out these issues, especially if you want to put together a cohesive nation called Kenya.
What are the issues, Dismas?
The issues are that every Kenyan, and Eric is going to point out where it's captured in the Constitution, we deserve to be treated in a manner that reflects equity and equality. And we must go the extra mile to reverse what was created by sessional paper number 10, where some places in Kenya were declared productive and others were declared non-productive.
Okay, so one of the issues that you're talking about is that Kenya must foster a position of equity and equality.
Yeah, and all leaders must subscribe to that philosophy of equity and equality. When you depart from that philosophy of equity and equality, in my view, that should be a reason for impeachment. Because, and I keep on asking this, and I'm going to ask this till the cows come home, and this is a question I'm going to pose to Eric. I'll ask you to name for me the 3 top public hospitals and their location. Then after that, you name the 3 top schools for boys and their location, and the 3 top girls' school and their location. If you really want to understand that there is no equity and equality for a long time in Kenya in distribution of national resources.
Is this one of those things where you're asking a question and you know the answer? Because you might as well tell us where those are so that we can move the conversation along.
Okay, let's start with the hospitals. Let's start with the hospitals.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're talking about the top 3 public hospitals in Kenya, you'll talk about KNH, you'll talk about Kenyatta University Teaching Research. It's got a very long name. And you'll talk about MTRH in Eldoret.
Yes.
If you're talking about the top boys' schools, you'll talk about Alliance, and then you'll talk about Mangu, and you may talk about Lenana. If you're talking about girls, again, you may talk about Alliance, then you may... So, you can see because of that session of paper number 10, there's no national school in my village. So what happens? Before we go this new road, I speak as a Kisii man, before we go the new road, Narok, if you're to bring a patient from Kisii to Kenesh, it will take you 10 hours. Halfway the trip, the patient will be long dead. That is why we must subscribe to equity and equality in distribution of national resources. And any leader, it doesn't matter whether you're in UDA, whether you're in DCP, whether you don't have a political party, you must respect that. You see, a few days ago, when people went to Wajir for National Day celebrations, guys were asking, wait a minute, do they have sufficient water for you to take a National Day celebration in that part of the world? A few days ago, when they went to Kisii, people were complaining, what the hell, why are you taking this thing to Kisii? But if you go to Kisii, when President Kenyatta had a National Day celebration, people saw roads being done, there was power, there's everything else. So let's distribute this our cake in a manner that reflects equity, equality, and run away from